Hello and welcome to the Idiot Book Nook podcast. My name is Blazewing. My pronouns are she, her, and they, them, and sometimes fucking off.
I am the reading dragon, and my pronouns are she, her. And y'all be lucky that I wore pants today.
My name is Lady Punnet. My pronouns are primarily she, her, sometimes they, them. Today is a she, they kind of day. I'm losing my voice again.
No.
And I'm Crittershy. My pronouns are she, they. And today is heartburn. Fuck it all.
Yep.
I want food. Where's my food?
What is that? Is that what I think it is?
So there's corn and hamburger and eggs and sour cream.
Okay, not what I thought it was, but still.
What did you think it was?
Well, because from here, your corn, I guess, kind of looks like cheese curds.
Oh, I wish.
So it kind of looked like a messy poutine from far away. And now I want to go to Costco.
Oh, there's even, is this onion or potato?
And today we're going through Prospero School of Magic. We're actually having the discussion portion of our episode today. If you'd like to follow us on socials, you can do so at lanktr.ee/idiotbooknook. This episode's going to be great because I'm leaving all of that the fuck in.
Just as well.
As well as the, I'll probably have already edited it by the time this episode comes out, so I'm probably going to end up leaving that belch in at the end of last episode.
Yeah, that's still an issue. So I'm sorry. I'm going to do my best to make
good.
sure it doesn't.
If you need to duck in and out, you do it. If you need to go, you do it.
I mean, I already have clipped one of your belches, so we're good.
Thanks.
It was perfectly timed.
And just think, you're the one that wanted to be here.
I know, right?
With that being said, guys, chapter 6, what do we think?
Fuck!
I fucking told you so.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who are confused, they're referring to the fact that we had theories that Romeo was actually Arthur.
Yeah.
So we
And
were on point with that.
Yep.
That's the only thing I'm on point about today. It's all good.
However, I do like how AP actually gave kind of a lot of options to who it could have been.
Yep.
Not being super direct with it. However, there was enough in each of the prospective characters as to who could have actually been Arthur. Hi, Grimmy. Hi, sweet bird.
For those of you that can't see, we currently have a close-up of Grim, one of our mascots, or one of our pets, currently being petted and apparently loving every minute of it.
Oh, yeah. You look so happy.
Yep.
Oh.
Tell me a bird can't smile.
Right. Oh, my goodness. It's so cute. I'm gonna fucking die.
Loki in the chat's just like, I'm just here for the bird content.
There.
See, I'd have my new cat, Zeus, in here. However, he likes to climb. He's also a baby. A 1-year-old baby. Which
the kittens.
Love you
I
all.
actually have his birthday in his medical records. I looked at his medical records yesterday and I found out when his actual birthday was.
Nice. That's
December
always
24th.
good.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Did anyone find this was a rushed chapter?
A little bit.
Yep. Even listening, it felt rushed. Then again, I was also in the chat last episode making snide comments because I couldn't talk over the din of noise in my apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a couple run-ons that didn't help. Probably that feeling.
Yeah. It definitely was.
Definitely could have maybe been paced a little slower, but it's a lot of information too, right?
It
Like,
almost could have been split into 2 chapters or more.
I also
Almost.
feel that Merlin was too trusting
Yep.
of these four right
Yeah.
off the bat. Like
Yep.
it was revealed in an earlier chapter. He helped Donatello seal these guys away, meaning he felt they were dangerous enough to be sealed away. And now you're like giving them all the ammunition.
Yeah.
I'll counter that with a few points that might lend to why he's being more trusting. First, we know that he can at least read surface thoughts.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, you know, his check motive rolls are like nat 20s all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of helps in terms of how he like automatically decides whether or not a person can be trusted.
Mhm.
I think that plays a fair role in it.
Yeah.
And also I get so from this newest reveal that Donatello was like told like you need to lock us up because my husband to be is a wackadoodle.
Wackadoodle. Is that a technical term?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's possible. Fairly accurate.
Yeah. Like who knows what kind of story Donatello told Merlin in order to sell this,
Yeah.
right? Like it could have been like it just feels like especially with this addition of like these demon creatures that we didn't know before, I feel like they were more involved in the corruption of the elementals
Mhm.
that then we're like that we have information about.
Mhm.
I feel like that could something that could come later. And so
Yeah.
if Merlin already knows that, then that could be why, like, because they look like they had an allyship beforehand.
Yeah.
So that's my theory on why he's being more accepting.
Speaking of, I also had a little bit of a thought when we were going through the portion of Merlin showing the elementals the memories that he showed the other group. Doesn't it kind of, is it just me, or does it kind of throw anyone else off that he's basically, yeah, he's showing his perspective of everything that happened, including this time around a little bit of what Clara described as to what she remembers from her perspective, but it seems I was just reminded of what episode 2 or 3 of Interview with the Vampire that I've been watching with Blaze as of recently, where Louis and the interviewer mentions that between the 2 interviews that they've had together, it seems like the story has changed drastically because of how memories are perceived and how they're brought up.
Well, that's the thing.
Or
the interview's name is David, by the way.
okay, David and David.
Yeah, at least it is in the books.
At least in the books. Sorry, spoiler alert for anyone who's not seen that yet. But basically, with how memories are described as to how long a person has been around for, when someone describes something first, it'll be as how they remember it, being a little fresher, being closer to when it actually happened, and then how it changes over time as someone lives and grows older, and how the memories come up differently because the brain will process that memory differently as they get older, until to a point where they describe it as a completely different scenario.
Well, that also just reinforces that memory, the human brain and memory are shit. It's like one of the most unreliable things out there.
Here's the thing, though, and here's another thing, though, because of the fact that Merlin has been healing himself to regress his age so many times since his first chronologically recorded lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say he kind of didn't? Who's to say, one, he didn't fuck up his own brain in the process, Or two, yeah, his brain is still intact and whatnot, but what if he's kind of showcasing the memories as he's been showcasing them to manipulate?
Oh, come on, it's a book.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
see
fuck
what
up
you
your
mean,
brain in
yeah.
a book.
Huh?
I said, oh, come on, it's a book. You can't fuck up your brain in a book.
It's just a book. No harm ever came from opening a book. Huh?
I mean,
I'm just going to open this book up. What's the worst that could happen?
Boom, 12 Plagues of Egypt.
I should get my sister Aspen in on the chat, and she could tell you stories about how I used to beat people up with books.
Loki says,
I have another question.
kind of like a Magic Bean Peddler, and then I need to watch that series. I'm assuming you were referring to Interview with the Vampire.
Mm-hmm. What was that, Lady Pona?
Well, I have a question. Why did Carnelian think it's a good idea to lock herself up with her supposed abuser? Why not just lock up Agate?
Stockholm Syndrome?
I feel like there's more to that than we probably know. It does seem like all of the elementals were becoming like contaminated.
Yep.
Maybe she was afraid that was happening to her too.
Maybe. Also, it could have been that at the time, because you know how when someone who is being abused is helping the rescuers stop the abuser, or when someone is trying to stop the bad guy, some tropes will involve the person helping sacrificing themselves.
Yeah, like I will freeze myself with him so that way you have the opportunity to freeze him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. It's seen as a kind of a noble gesture, or at least that's the way it's depicted. Self-sacrifice is supposed to be one of the noblest things that you can do, at least when it comes to storytelling tropes, right?
Yeah, so it could be one of those for sure. Yeah.
What else we got?
Well, it was one more thing that I'm finding is becoming a common thing in this book that I'm not caring for, and it's that everyone, regardless of their relationship status, keeps getting crushes on Daniel and Clara.
Yeah.
Like Citrine, who supposedly first was head over heels for Argon, is blushing and blushing deeper just from Merlin smirking at her.
Yeah. The whole
everybody is exceedingly perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just it's a trope I've always disliked. Like, I get it if someone's like attractive and stuff, but like, don't blush harder if you're taken and you know the other person is taken. Supposedly, if you are in this relationship where you love your partner so deeply that you are willing to do atrocious things with them.
Yeah.
Like, why not? I would have preferred if it was like, oh my god, bestie! Like, why can't we have, like, male-female friendships? Yeah. Super excited.
I was sort of getting that a tiny bit with Carnelian and Merlin.
Yeah.
Like, she seemed to be more like that friendship, supportive, maybe like almost motherly type. I don't recall her getting flustered by his presence.
No, Citrine was.
It was Citrine
was, yeah. But Carnelian, thankfully. But again, excessive perfection.
Yep.
Yeah. To the point where it's like, especially in this case, Merlin and Clara kind of have this aura of attraction about them. Which is, yeah, I get where you're coming from. That can be annoying at points.
Unless it's somehow built into the plot.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to see negative effects from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the whole, like, and especially the bit where, like, Merlin acknowledged, oh yeah, this happens a lot, and I ignore it. And it's like, no, tell us why it is happening. Like, are you related to succubuses or sirens, and it's just a natural thing and it gets annoying? Or I was never sure if people actually love me for me or because they're attractive to me and my power or something. Not just like high school. Oh my god, he's so pretty. I love him.
Oh,
So, who here's seen Buffy?
All of it.
I'm getting a sudden flashback to the time Xander decided to fuck with a love spell.
Yeah, that was a funny ass episode though. But see, like that went really fucking bad.
Yep.
There were consequences to that.
Yeah, like he cast a love spell for the person that he was in love with because he wanted to cause her harm and he wanted to fuck with that, and it turned out really fucking bad for him because everybody started obsessing with him.
I don't remember that, but okay.
He wanted to make her jealous.
He wanted to make her extremely jealous.
Right.
And whatnot, and he wanted to hurt her. And when you fuck with somebody's free will and you add negative intentions to it, you have a consequence of it backfiring horribly. It turned out that every woman in the town could not stay away from him, and the one person that he wanted to get to was completely unaffected.
Mm-hmm.
They were like he almost got like literally torn apart.
Yep.
By mobs of crazy women who were like breaking into his house.
Yep.
I remember that bit.
Yep. Like, build it into the plot like that. That is a great way to display that.
Mm-hmm. Or, because, like, the mention of, are you related to some succubi? Depending on the lore, he is technically half demonic.
Or part fae, depending on the lore, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, is this something between you and Morgana from being either part demonic or part fae because of the whole magic thing? Is this a possible effect of being magic users, of having a natural aura of attraction?
Also, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that even though Joss Whedon is, like, really fucking not okay with some of the shit that he pulled, I would love to see a series based on some of Giles' earlier days. Like, fuck!
His Ripper days.
I want to see that so bad.
I want to see how he became the person that he is today and the shit that he went through.
Yeah.
I
want some him and Ethan goodness.
Right, all right.
Yes, his Ripper days, absolutely.
Exactly, yeah.
What was that, Dragon?
Isn't the actor still kicking?
Yeah, Anthony Stewart Head. Oh, fuck yeah. Also, he's gotten a lot better with age. He's aged like a fine fucking wine, man.
He's still got some epic vocal cords too.
Oh,
yeah. Fuck.
It wasn't until Once More with Feeling I realized he could sing, and then with Repo the Genetic Opera when he started fucking belting. God.
My fuck yeah.
They talk about it in the books, yes, but I want to see an actual series.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, back to the book.
Yeah. Speaking of books.
But yeah, it just seems to be a common trend where a lot of people are falling. Don't get me wrong, there are people who will agree and say, "Oh yeah, I definitely fall for him." Like a lot of celebrities, like off the top of my head, Rihanna is someone that a lot of people say they find attractive. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson,
Keanu
Reeves, Benedict Cumberbatch,
Tom Hiddleston.
Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox.
Megan Fox, yeah. But it's like, but no one's attractive when they're 18. Can we just put that out there? No one's attractive when they're 18.
Unless they're blessed with certain genetics, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or you worked on the set of a certain film by a certain author that should not be dead.
But yeah, it also might be the fact that I went through this phase where I used to write characters like this all the time. And looking back on it now, it makes me cringe just thinking about it. So I might be projecting myself onto this, and I fully acknowledge this might be just some projection on this.
That's fair.
But I would like to see. I would have liked to see, like, heck, even if like different character dynamics, like, oh yeah, they all get along and there's crushes happening. I would have liked to see maybe one of the elements, like Merlin, my rival. We still have to do that chess match from 3 centuries ago.
Yep.
Where's the frenemy?
Where's the frenemy?
Where's
so
the
far
rival?
that might be Arthur.
Yeah, maybe.
Where's the we duel at dawn? You can't get up. Well, we could duel at dawn, but you can never get out of bed past noon. Where's that relationship?
Yeah.
I do also acknowledge it could be due to Merlin's position, though. The fact that he was considered a servant and advisor at best, and this is like a bunch of royalty, would have also liked to. I've always been a fan of like different relationships and different dynamics. So the fact that it seems like Argon and Cornelian were also in an abusive relationship, similar to what Argon and Citrine were, I would have liked to see them be like, oh yes, so we're in an arranged marriage, but we have an agreement where we each can have a bedfellow so long as we don't talk about it.
Or something. Yeah.
Or
Or even like they share. Like that'd be
Or
great.
and maybe something did happen and Agate did get jealous or something like that, but it's the guy falls in love with girl doesn't love him, guy gets jealous and things go to shit.
Yeah, because historically, if I'm remembering correctly, there have been cases of royal couples or noble couples actually having their own consorts.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's fucking like, even if it was like a thing that they don't talk about, everybody did it.
Pretty much. Especially when it turned out that the male of the of the main pair could not produce a child. And so, while kept secret, there is very likely a lot of children supposedly related to the royal family that are royal families or noble families that aren't, because of that whole thing.
What do you think, Blaze? You've been quiet. Oh, sorry, Critter.
I was going to say the same thing, so no worries.
I have no thoughts.
Only Fluv.
So.
But yeah, this was a short chapter, so I think we've pretty much picked apart everything there was to pick apart.
I mean, aside from the fact that Wesley is rightfully kind of uncertain and kind of sort of unsure of what's going on, because yes, he acknowledges that Daniel and Clara love each other, but also they're still together in public when it's now confirmed that they are engaged, so it looks bad on both her and him, because although in media they often blame the women, it's also, oh, you can't keep her satisfied enough to stay in the relationship? What's wrong with you?
Not to mention that he seems to have like a crazy control of Mama. So
yeah.
That probably doesn't help.
No.
Well, with that, I'm thinking we should probably wrap this episode up. Yeah. Unless anybody else has anything.
Do we have any theories as to what's going to happen next now that Romeo has revealed himself to be Arthur?
Yep, everything's going to go to shit. It's all going to be on fire. The world's going to fall apart.
Which, go ahead, Critter.
I was going to say, and then like at the very end, they'll pull like a super Hail Mary out of their hats.
All right. Lady Bonnet?
With how the pacing is going, most likely they're going to find information about this Eris guy and where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
In the next chapter or two, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. So with, like, speaking of Romeo being Arthur, the relationship between Arthur and Merlin, to touch back on what Lady Punnet was talking about earlier about the frenemy or the best friend being like, we still have to have that match. I imagine that happening between Romeo and Merlin at some point, because of the fact that in some of the memories that were brought up throughout the book up to this point, it did kind of showcase that kind of relationship between Merlin and Arthur. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I do hope that maybe Romeo remembering that he's Arthur and realizing that, like, at some point in time, him and Clara were related, maybe we'll get rid of that crush he's been having.
Yeah.
And they'll move on to having just a solid friendship. That would be great.
Please.
No surprise, incest. I'm still recovering from Vampire Night.
Dog and wood.
So I'm thinking
Yeah.
I'm thinking like B-rated vampire novels. I'll go grab like like the skeeziest fucking vampire romance novel I can find from a secondhand bookstore, and we can all just sit here and read that.
Yeah.
So Twilight.
Worse.
No.
Ouch.
Oh, no. If we're gonna do that, we gotta do fucking Nightlight, and we gotta do the cigarette auntie voices.
I have no idea what you're talking about, sweetheart.
Oh really? You and I just need to have a sit down with the rest of the gals here. Maybe bring some other of the gals from the neighborhood, and then just go through shit and talk about it. Like we should be doing.
With that, sweethearts, I think it's time we wrap up this episode.
That would probably be best. We love you all.
Bye.
Some of us have to go get to our Pilates classes. Gotta keep them limbs limber. If you know what I mean.
Oh my god. So we want to thank you for joining us. It's been a blast. As always, Wednesday mornings. If you want to check us out, you can do so at linktr.ee/Idiot Book Nook. The pounding is back, apparently, so this is a really good time to wrap up. We'll see you guys next episode, next week. We're pretty much halfway at this point, but for the Idiot Book Nook, I'm Blazewing.
I am the Reading Dragon.
I'm Lady Punnet.
And I'm Crittershy.
And we'll see you soon.